Hey, you gonna sit down or you gonna do it over there? Hey! Welcome to the show. This is the Hot Funny Meme Show.
Funny meme show.
You know what we haven't done in a while?
What?
Showing a meme.
Let's show two memes back to back really quick. Ready? Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. That's going to be so hard. I just made so much work for myself.
You're editing this one. Those better be all original. If you don't do a meme, stop it, dude. Stop it. Stop. We got to pace ourselves with the memes. You know that there's only like
I'm going to have them come out of my
memes. All right, listen. You don't need another meme for a week at the least now. You've seen so many memes, and those were hot memes. Rewind it, put it in slow motion, because those are zingers. All right? Those memes are hot.
Someone goes back, looks through all of them. They're like, what the hell? They cancel us for some, like, there's some secret QAnon message in all of them.
We are not a publisher. We don't endorse these memes. They're just there.
Yeah, I get caught on some weird subreddit where like the memes are all weird, and I just take all those ones because I'm lazy and Anyway, so those are your memes for the year, and here we are back again. Nick, I wanted to discuss a subject today that I just was like thinking about this, and I thought it would be a good topic of discussion for us. The subject is, and more in terms of like originality, I'm speaking from a creator perspective, which we both are, and many people out there are. The question of originality, is it useful? What is the usefulness of originality? Or should we just be like riding trends? Do you know what I mean? Like memes themselves are just like, it's a template.
Mm-hmm.
Someone has already created the template of the joke.
Right.
It's like set up, punchline at the bottom, and it's like you sort of superimpose some relatable situation onto the meme.
Right.
And it can sort of, there's something nice about that because it can be a lot of different groups, and people of different backgrounds can apply it to like, when you're a firefighter and this happens, and someone can do it.
TikTok, very similar.
Yeah. TikTok, same deal. So that's my question for you. Like, should we be even trying to make original, difficult to make content?
New concepts.
Yeah. Should we talk? I feel like we should talk a little bit about like some things that we learned. We touched on it like a bit in the first episode, but we did some like search engine optimization research on like sketch comedy.
Yeah.
And like no one's searching for sketch comedy.
What was it? It was 350
it's
a year.
Yeah. Worldwide for the year, it was like 3,000 searches for worldwide for sketch comedy.
Yep.
No one's looking for sketch comedy, and we've decided to, devote all of our free time to making those things that no one seems to care about.
Listen, if you didn't know that already and you were thinking of getting into this,
it's a great.
Please don't let it discourage you.
Yeah. Or let it. I don't know. Just quit.
All right. So I guess what's the correct way to go? I think that it's a mixed bag of an answer on this, because there are certain times where you want to lean into trends, and certain times where you want to be original. I think. I don't want to give like a closing statement, right? But
you're like, and the answer was quit. Thank you.
Pop it like credits. What's funny about, so if you take Borat, for example, which we talked about in the last episode of the episode before, I don't know how these are coming out. He leans into a kind of trend at the start of the film because he's rehashing old material.
Yeah.
Right? But that's not the best part of the, there's a familiarity there.
Yeah.
Right? Which helps sell the idea quick.
Yeah.
but it doesn't stick with you. There's no grabbing power to it unless it's original.
Do you think that, like, you just made me think, like, do people like, I'm thinking now of comedians who have signature jokes, the way that musicians have signature songs. It's like you go to a concert, you want to hear the hits, you don't want to hear the new stuff. Comedy is different, where it is a little more disposable, and like as soon as you've seen a thing, it's kind of a throwaway. And that's like, it feels like that's what comedy is more and more now, and it's gotten cheaper and cheaper to make. And you know what I can't stand?
I love this. Tell me.
I hate so much the trend that and I don't know why. Let's get into it. But the trend where it's like, and maybe I'll make one as we're filming this. Well, I'll do what people are doing.
So much work into this for yourself.
I'm gonna love this. So it's like, this is what people do. I took a picture of myself. So, and I look so much worse on this phone than I do in that. So they'll be like, "Hey Tom, do you want to like go to the store?" And they're like,
they turn their head.
No, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to the store. It's like, why don't you want to go to the store? Like, because I want to go to the park. And like, this is the whole, and that's it. And this is the whole, that's it. And then it's like, you look at the views, it's like 100 billion views. I'm like, and everyone's doing this thing. And I like, why do I hate this, Nick? Why do I hate it?
I think okay, so.
Tell me why. For the love of God.
I hate it too. And I'll tell you why I hate it. I think it's the same as you. In a couple episodes ago, you called me a comedy snob.
Yeah. Am I one too?
Yeah, you can't hide. Listen, I think that it's too easy. It's effortless. There's no effort put into it. And when you see that someone is being rewarded for nothing, and it really is nothing. Listen, to anyone that's a TikTok superstar out there, you're still doing, you're doing what works. And that's fine. Like, good, all the power to you, right?
Jealous.
We're jealous is the reality of it.
Like
I would love to just do that, and I could just do this phone thing with a towel on my head to represent my mom, and I'm like when mom tells you to get off Fortnite, I don't want to get off Fortnite. You have to get, I could just do this.
You could,
but I wouldn't. But I wouldn't. Here's the thing: I wouldn't care if anyone liked it. There'd be nothing like I'm sure when you do too. When you create a sketch, like you're really nervous about the release of it, like a little bit. Like it's because you put a lot into it, and it's an idea. It's an actual idea that you're like, this hasn't been done before. I don't know if this has legs, right? Yeah. Something that happens in stand-up comedy a lot, we're talking about trends, is that something will, let's say there's a plane that goes down in a country, right? And every comedian, like the Comedy Cellar, will try to joke about it. Because that's the thing. They'll try to figure their own angle on it, right?
The news event of the day, everyone's got an angle on that particular event.
Right. So there's so trend does play a significant role in creating comedy, right? Yeah. But I think I guess what it comes down to is knowing when to cut loose of a trend and just move on. Like not just staying in it.
And also like when maybe the opposite side, like maybe something we need to work more on is like, when do you let go of your snobbery and just give in and just say like, hey, would you like this? And it's like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. When do you just say like, hey, listen, if people find this funny, then it's funny.
There's a lot of kind of like, these original artists that are hold their values that don't eat.
Yeah, that's true.
So it comes down to, can you support being original and taking risks, I think. I don't think that there's any greater reward than an original idea working.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything that feels better than that. When you just kind of adhere to the trend and you follow the trend and it works, it's like
I guess it worked. boom. You know?
It's like, I'm done now.
You're like at the top of the bridge. You're like, I guess you're like looking at your phone.
You're like,
huh. And then you're like,
does that feel like that for you? Following trends?
just giving in to what to what the world is like making you do. Here's the thing. For you and I, we're not professionals. We've never been paid money to make the sketches that we want to make or the comedy that we want to do. It really is. I mean, we have aspirations, sure. Like, it would be so nice if like 10 million, if 10,000, if 1,000 people liked what we made and laughed at it or whatever. That would be awesome. But we're not there at this moment. And so it's like, what is the motivating factor? We've kind of had this conversation a bit before, and it really is interesting to me of like, what I truly think that like you have to, when there's no money on the line, when there's nothing on the line, no one really cares. You have to love what you're making, and you have to love making it, and you have to be proud of it. And excuse me, I don't know. I think what bugs me is like, I really do, and I know that you do too, pour my heart and soul into the things that I make, and it really is this sort of this soul expression of comedy. And maybe that's too deep for comedy. So, like, now for a word from our sponsors, Dick Pills. Like, it's a soul expression.
I'll play devil's advocate for a sec, just for the sake of the discussion. What if the theory should be that you should follow the trends to create a footing of an audience, and then if you want to be original, once you've created this audience, then you get to do it.
Right.
You know, what if you have to play? You know, it's like trying to get a job promotion.
Yeah.
You know, follow the rules. Show up on time, do what's expected of you.
Yeah.
You know?
The trends.
And then you'll get promoted. And when you get promoted, now you can you get a little late or a little bit more time for lunch.
Yeah.
So you can go run some errands. But you don't get that unless you kind of follow the rules initially.
It's like it's like the rules of, or not the rules, but like sort of what happens in Hollywood where like a director will have one hit movie and then they get a blank check to make the next movie, whatever they want. And it's usually like a crazy movie.
Yeah.
But their signal has been boosted sufficiently that like people, like Christopher Nolan is a great example of this, where he makes these crazy movies.
Yeah.
But like, it's because people know who he is and they want to mess with what he does, you know, like they love what he's making. I guess you're right. It really comes down to like, it's not people's fault that people just watch what's in front of them.
Yeah.
And the algorithms and the TikToks and the YouTubes push what they push.
Yeah.
And I know like there's a lot of like hate for the algorithms, like the algorithm, we have to obey the algorithm. But I think what the algorithm does in a lot of these tech companies is like, it just mirrors back what people are watching. So we can't really blame, you know, the algorithm too much. It is people sort of driving, you know, these algorithms to a certain extent with their choices and desires with what they want to consume and watch. But I don't even know, man. I just like, there's just something about the and I don't even want to diss people who are like, because some people don't have like the technical expertise to make something like really, or they just don't know how, or they're not interested. They have a funny idea. They want to get it out the way that they know how, which is put a towel on your head and film yourself from 2 different angles. And, and that's it.
I still think that the folks doing those type of very broad, trendy comedy videos are still comedians in their heart, because they want to make people laugh.
Yeah.
You'd only do that if you feel compelled to do it, right? They just kind of like you said, they don't have maybe those original ideas, or maybe they do, and they just like, you know what, they're doing the theory that I said, where they're like, I'm just going to build the audience doing this. I'm just going to ride this wave.
Yeah.
But trends, I mean, you can, because there's degrees of following trends, right? So you've got obviously that, but then there's just trends in jokes naturally.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. Yeah.
Whether it's the kind of like high status, low status, that's a trend.
Yeah.
Whether it's this kind of like really high kind of build to like this drop off.
Yeah. Undercutting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's known techniques, right? Yeah. You're so right. All comedy, the language of comedy is full of these things that have been done before, previous trends, I guess. So.
Yeah, trends might not be the right word, but I think it's like a placeholder for that word in a way.
But it was trendy at the time.
Yeah.
It was, it's like...
Yeah, that's true, because the films, when Caddyshack was coming out, Airplane came out.
Yeah.
And these are very similar films.
Yeah.
Like they're not like the film was like we have styles of doing comedy in generational gaps, right?
Yeah.
And there's a trend to doing it, right? And that lasts as long as the audience likes it, and then it moves on, which is really no different to a TikTok trend, because as soon as people don't like the towel on the head, they move to whatever the new thing is.
Are we just old? Is that what it is? Too?
I'm not old.
Aren't you?
I'm 15.
And I need to go then. Hello, is there an adult?
It's like, oh, you're not allowed to be around.
Oh, you're 15? I have to go. Oh man. I just thought of like, how like they get 30-year-olds to play like 15-year-olds in high school on TV.
Yeah.
What if you were like the opposite, where like they get a 15-year-old who looks really old? Not that you look really old, but like you're like, no, I'm the opposite. I'm one of those like 15-year-olds that looks 30, and I play 30-year-olds on television. I'm someone's dad. Never had a job before, but I'm
Do you know what I'm really working on for my next sketch? And I've been approaching a lot of gentlemen.
What?
And I want like an adult.
Oh,
in
right.
a sketch.
Yeah.
Like I want it'd be a feather in my cap to have a 40-year-old, 50-year-old in a sketch. And so I've been asking, kind of like, I've been showing them, like, oh, that's a really fun idea that you're doing. I'm like, would you ever want to be in one? I couldn't. I'd be like, I'm gonna write it.
You show up to their door. Doof, doof, doof. Donnie. He's like, hello? You said you were gonna be in my sketch. You're like,
Need some help on this one?
I'm hanging
Yeah.
by a thread. Say something.
Am I supposed to be the other character here?
You're the other character now.
I'm the older one or the younger one?
You're
Who am I?
Let's drop it.
Okay.
You do it. Sometimes that happens. Like you get. I know this has happened to you before, where like you get too deep in something, and you go into like it's almost like a trance mode of you're just like.
Okay, so great point that you're bringing up, though. When something isn't working,
Yeah. When you honestly drop it,
or you start leaning into trends, you fall back on trends. They're like safety nets,
right?
of
Something
cringe, right?
works. Yeah.
One kind of thing that we often disagree on is like swearing. If this is like a crutch kind of thing, right? But whether it is or not, that's can be used as one of these things, right?
It's a fallback. This is panic. Hit the panic button.
Yeah,
You know?
And so I wonder if it's not a one or the other. Should you be original or lean into trends? I wonder if you kind of have to do both at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially in the creative process, which is very, it's very discovery based.
Yeah.
Right. So you're doing this thing where you're especially writing a script, you've got this original idea and something's not working and you feel trapped in the idea and you need, even as a placeholder until you write something better, right? You jump to a trend being like, then, the guy falls down because you know that a fall is funny,
Well, I would say that's different. That's more of like a structural, like it's more of like we just know that this technique, it's more like technique based. I would say like trend based is more like like in the TikTok was like, show me that your dog is really clingy without showing me that your dog is really clingy. Like that's just a thing now. Is that going to be a long-standing, pillar of comedy the way that like a pratfall is? I don't think so.
No. Okay, so obviously there is a difference between and we're back.
It's late enough in the video. I don't think we can.
Our parents won't watch this far.
Yeah.
Sorry. So what you're so we really should distinguish kind of trends and techniques as really. I mean, they are separate things, but like we really shouldn't be discussing.
A technique
them in the same.
can be trendy, but a trend
can't be
a technique. So I think that's our episode. Thanks, guys. No, but to like sort of put a bookend on this. One thing I thought I had while you were saying that was like, it's good to be creative. Sometimes you need a constraint, and the trends. There are a set of constraints, and you're being creative within this. Whatever the confines of the joke format that is trendy at the time would be. So it's like, show me the blank without showing me that the blank. I'm sure we could make that work. Like there could be something. Maybe we should try to sort of fit whatever our brand of comedy is into this little easy to consume, palatable format that people seem to like.
Do you ever think that you could, like, you see the trend and you think like, I could do that better? Like even within the trend.
I think I could dominate TikTok.
You should try. Where is the Embarrassing Cold TikTok channel? Why don't we have it yet?
It exists. I made it.
No videos.
I'm just like lurking. I'm scared.
I followed you. I found you. I followed you.
Oh,
there's nothing going on.
Good gravy. I don't know. Have we said all there is to say? I feel like I don't know. Do we want to keep talking, or are you happy, or I want to I want us to be self-contained enough.
Yeah.
I don't know, or not. I don't know. Or we could just like cut out at any moment, and that's the end of the episode.
There's gonna be a lot of cuts in this episode.
Can we just do that?
Absolutely. This is going to end up being 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's just like opinion.
And
we're gone. Yeah.
We turn it into a TikTok video.
It's 1 minute long.
It's like it's 2 seconds from every minute of this or whatever. I don't know, man. We kind of... We're just like, we're on borrowed time. I don't know when we're going to run out of space, but...
All right, give me the... I got to give you a question.
Well, like and subscribe. This is the video. Like and subscribe. We love you. Comment.
Thanks for stopping in to the Hot Funny Meme Show.
Bye.
Goodbye.
My hair's like shaking as I laugh.
Troy, have you noticed that your relationship with chocolate milk has become a lot more complicated as of late?
It's become abusive.
Yeah. Have you tried to talk to
We're in counseling right now, yeah.
How's it going?
Hit me in front of the counselor, and it's not going well.
Yeah, absolutely. Has the chocolate milk met your parents?
We vacation in the Rangoon. Is that a place? Nick, do you wish that President Trump was back? Do you wish that? Okay, one more. Nick.